Hi and welcome everyone. My name is Dominique and this is my podcast. Hugs, Handshakes, Habibi. In this podcast I will speak about my life in the Middle East. I will tell you some fun stories I experienced here, and also I want to give you some hints what you need to see if you visit this amazing region. I hope that you enjoy listening as much as I enjoyed the recording, and yalla, let's start! Hi and welcome back everyone. It's Sunday again, so time for a new episode of Hugs, Handshakes, Habibi. This episode I titled with Shining Bright, the UAE Solar Initiative. And I want to speak about how we get energy and how we get water here. So from that perspective, when I speak to people outside the Middle East, they say, well, you guys sitting on oil, you don't pay for electricity, you have everything there, you don't care about that, and they have the oil and no issues with that. Well, since I'm living here, I had the same opinions back in the time, to be honest. Since I'm living here, I started to explore my new home, and with that discovery, I figured out there was WEDX, or Dubai Solar Show, a couple of weeks ago. And this is the largest trade show here in the region about sustainable energy. So this year there were over 40,000 visitors. They had over 1,700 exhibitors, and people from more than 50 countries came here and tried to get inspiration or introduce new products for sustainable energy. And how is energy working in the Middle East, in Dubai especially? So we have DEWA, the Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, and they are the people that bring water and energy to the houses. So when you move in, as I explained in one of the earlier episodes, you get your Ijari, and with the Ijari you can register a DEWA. So they come out and connect your house or your apartment to the electricity grid and to the water grid. So this is the first step. It's not true that we are not paying for electricity. So especially in the summer, the electricity bill can get decent high when you have the AC running to get the hot and humid air out of your house or apartment. So they introduced a couple of years ago a slab tariff. So there are three different prices I have to pay. If I use more energy, the energy is getting more expensive, and same counts for water. If I use more water, then the water per unit gets more expensive. So this is the first thing. Let's speak about how we get the energy here. So let's speak how we currently get the energy. So first of all, Dubai historically heavily relied on natural gas for electricity generation. Well, that was given by the fact there is a natural gas field offshore, and the time when Dubai emerged, gas was a pretty convenient, easy way to produce electricity, and the gas was on the shoreline, so it was not too complicated to come to that solution to get electricity for the growing city back in the past. Then the UAE have a nuclear plant in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. This is contributing energy to the complete UAE grid, and with the UAE grid it's also contributing to the energy mix here in the Emirate of Dubai. The plant started, I think it was 2022, and it's contributing to the overall energy grid. So it's not placed in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, but well, it's a grid for the complete UAE. Dubai also imports electricity from the broader UAE grid, for sure, because you have to supply energy also in the peak hours, and you have to keep the grid stable. This is also something common. You see that as well in Europe. For example, Germany is importing electricity from France and Spain, and vice versa. Netherlands. There is no. So Germany is for sure importing it from, for example, France and Netherlands. You have to cover the peak hours, and this is pretty common. So this is the three sources. The fourth source is renewable energy, and Dubai is striving towards way bigger portion of renewable energy as it's currently already doing. I will mention that later. So we have, for example, the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum solar park, named after the vice president of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. And he has the vision that solar park or solar energy and sustainable energy should get a bigger portion here in Dubai for the energy mix. What we also do, we currently get a couple of new communities that are built as smart communities and sustainable communities. I'm really excited to see them. They're a sustainable city. I want to visit that a couple of times, but it never worked out. But I will definitely do. And currently they are building Expo City, and Expo City is planned as a smart city as well. So they transform the former Expo area where the Expo 2020 took place, was moved after during the Corona pandemic. So it started 21 and ended in 22. But they transformed this area now to a residential area, and some parts of that are planned as a smart city. So I'm really, really excited to see what they are doing there. But yeah, let's speak about the solar park, the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum solar park. It's built outside of the city in a desert area, and I was made aware that there is this visitor center on WebEx. So I went out there, not with the official tour. It's open for the general public, so I drove there by my own car and not in the bigger group. And first of all, it's amazing going out there. There's a road leaving the city. It's a straight road. You drive through the desert, and at a certain point you see amazing buildings. So the visitor center is really, really nice to see. It's a great piece of architecture in the middle of nowhere. So it looks a little bit like a twisted water drop. I'm not sure if this interpretation is right, but it looks like. And in that visitor center, they have exhibitions, so you have to pay a small entrance fee, and then you get a tour through the building. They have some parts of the exhibition is about the general idea and the general principles of electricity, like some theories of Albert Einstein, the Van der Belt generator. They show how you step up and step down electricity from 400 kilowatt to 220 volts and stuff like that. So it's also for younger people, really experienced. There are some buttons you can press and some regulators you can turn. They also show you how they generate the drinking water here. It's desalted water with osmosis filters and all of that. They show how early Dubai started to adopt smart meters to get idea of the water consumption and the electricity consumption, which is pretty important to operate a smart grid. And then they give you some facts about the solar park. So the solar park is expected to produce 5,000 megawatt in 2030, which is an amazing number and makes it to one of the largest solar projects in the world. They build it in phases for sure. There are a couple of companies as contractors, and currently they're building, I think, phase 4. I'm not remembering that good. I think it's phase 4. And they will develop the project till 2030. It's part of the 2050 the Vision 2050 that set the target to have renewable energy here for 50% of all electricity that is consumed. And this park. So when you build a solar park in the middle of the desert, you have a couple of things you need to solve. to get a stable operation. So first of all, it's get very hot here in the summer. So the 50s is quite usual in the summer. And if you're out in the desert, it's maybe a little bit more as well. The solar panels are black, so they attracting the sun rays, and they're getting really hot. So they need to put fans under the panel to put air, and even 50 degrees hot air is cooler and can cool down a 150 degree solar panel. So they need to solve this first, because the cells would be destroyed if they get too hot. It's silica inside, so they are not built to get baked or cooked or whatever. Then second thing, you may not imagine, but there's a lot of humidity in the air. And especially in the summer, if you have the dust and the fine sand coming from the desert, and it's everywhere in the air. And then by night you have humidity, so it would turn in a thin layer of mud. And as you can imagine, mud on a solar cell is not working pretty good. So the sun rays are distracted and can't hit the layers, and there's no electricity produced. So they have robots going forward and back on the panels and just pushing pressurized air to remove the sand to avoid to get this thin layer of mud. So that are the struggles they have to solve. Also, they try to figure out what's the best kind of solar cell in terms of efficiency. They build their own research center to optimize the cells and find ways to get more energy out of the cells. So 5,000 megawatt is the current expected production of that solar park. Maybe it's getting more. I wouldn't be surprised if this number is even bigger. Then what they also do, they experiment with other kinds of solar energy. So they have, for example, mirrors. The mirrors just collecting the sun rays and put them on a tube filled with oil. So this oil is getting heated up to a high temperature, and then it is pumped through a water tank. So the water is getting hot and it starts to produce steam, and the steam is run through turbines, and the turbines then generate electricity. Also interesting approach, but for me the most amazing idea is there is a tower. It's about 80 to 90 meters high, and there are a lot of mirrors around that tower, just focusing on the top of the tower. And on the top of the tower, there is salt. And the salt is heating up to 1,200 to 1,400 degrees until the salt is getting a liquid. And this liquid is then pumped through water again, heating up the water, generating steam, and using the steam to generate electricity. And this is so hot, you can see this tower from far away. So when I'm driving from the airport home, or when I'm driving back from the office in the evening, you see this tower really glowing. It's like a glowing eye in the air, because usually there's a little bit of humidity and so it's not a clear view, but you see this tower, this top of the tower is glowing. And the idea is that if you heat the salt to 1,200 to 1,400 degrees, it stays hot. So even when the sun goes down, the salt is still hot, and you can use the salt at a later point to produce the steam and the electricity. It's kind of a big battery. No, it's not a battery, because you don't have to charge it with electricity. You charge it with sun rays. Anyway, it's an interesting idea to store this kind of sun energy for night times when the solar cell obviously are not working. Also currently, I visited that place a couple of weeks ago. There is a project in Hatta. They're building a dam there, so they can pump water up in the off-peak hours and then release the water, and it's flowing down back to the lower bassin, and then this water is also generating electricity in the off-peak hours. So there is a lot of stuff going on here in the UAE regarding sustainable and renewable energies, and people are not aware of that. So that's the amazing thing. So people come here, especially Germans, but also other nations. And the first they do is a lecture about how to be sustainable and how to use renewable energy. And they are not even aware that there are great initiatives going on here. So this is one of the amazing lectures I had in the last couple of weeks. So I think I covered pretty much of this sustainable energy part. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you tune in next week, Sunday, for the next episode of Hugs, Handshakes, Habibi. Stay safe and enjoy the week.